As we all know, we all are going through COVID-19 pandemic. I hope you all are doing well. Here I really appreciate the initiative taken by the ePhysiocon, which is give us opportunity to share our knowledge via this e-platform. Hello everyone, myself Dr. Rita Goswami. Here I am presenting study Effect of Balance Training as an Adjunct to Conventional Physiotherapy Exercise on Neck Pain Intensity and Disability in Patients with Chronic Neck Pain. Study was guided by Dr. Chetna Seju. Contains here my introduction starts. Neck pain is common musculoskeletal complaint among adults. Neck pain is now the second most common musculoskeletal disorder. The global burden of the disease study has ranked 19th overall in global cause of disability adjusted life years and 4th overall in years lived with disability. And worldwide estimates showed that the 1-year prevalence range is 30% to 50% and incidence is 10.4% to 21.3%. Neck pain is often persist or recurrent in nature. The underlying remain unclear but could be associated with the altered proprioception from the neck muscle, which have vital role in providing postural stability. The proprioceptive system of the cervical spine is extremely well developed. Muscle spindle afferent upper play the first violin in proprioceptive assemble and also serves as the final common pathway for the regulation of the muscle stiffness required for the various neuromuscular performances. Here the postural control system. Somatosensory information from the cervical region is the only region that has this direct access to the sense of balance and sense of sight. Here the schematic diagram is given for the central connections of cervical and reflex connection associated with the cervical spine afferents. With respect to nociceptive input, pain can primarily drive change to the sensory motor control and proprioception can be disturbed due to altered reflex activity and sensitivity of the gamma muscle spindle system. This has also been shown in subjects with chronic neck pain. This is of particular interest as many previous interventions with the aim to improve sensory motor function of the cervical spine involve consciously performed relocation task of the head. In contrast, neck muscles during balance strain exercise are unconsciously activated while the primary intention is to maintain body equilibrium. Therefore, in the present study, we aim to clarify the influence of the balance training on neck pain. Aim of my study is to find out the effect of balance training as an adjunct to conventional physiotherapy exercise on neck pain intensity and disability in patients with chronic neck pain. Objectives are to find out the effect of given protocol on neck pain intensity, disability and balance by using outcome measures. This is my hypothesis and this is the approval from the Institutional Ethics Committee for Human Research for my study. Methodology study design is randomized controlled trial study studying OPD 16 Physiotherapy Department, SSG Hospital, Vadodara. Study duration was 1 year. Study population, chronic neck pain patients, referred to outdoor physiotherapy department, SSG Hospital, Vadodara, fulfilling inclusion-exclusion criteria. Sample size was estimated that using medical software and minimum expected sample size per group comes 25. Here, to allow dropout rate, more participants recruited for this trial within given time. Inclusion and exclusion criteria, material used in the study, data collection, that is a screening, given information and consent from to the patient, explanation of procedure, all participant biodata and the particulars are taken and all were examined by using outcome measure pre and post intervention. Information sheet, consent form, total 94 participants are evaluated, then randomized 78 participants in 2 groups, while 5 are lost in follow-up. So group A have 37 participants and there are over 36 participants in group B. Outcome measures used are NPRS, NDI and MCT-SIB. Interventional protocol for both the group is conventional physiotherapy exercise, while for group B additional exercise is balance training. This is the conventional exercise characteristic that it is duration of 30 minutes 3 times per week. And for 5 weeks, the therapy is given, so total 15 sessions that contains active range of motion of neck, manual muscle stretching, isometric neck exercise, muscle strengthening with progression is given. Here, the adjunct therapy is balance training, which has contained the 3 tasks: single leg stance, tandem stance, and standing on the wobble board. Here, each task is maintained for the 20 seconds, repeated for the 10 times, and in between the task, the 10 seconds of hold is given. Here the progression is only given while the previous task is maintained for the 20 seconds and then progression by given with the eye movement, then with the eyes closed, then decrease the base of support. Statistical analysis done using Medcal. Here for the group A and the group B, homogeneity in the gender distribution, mean age distribution and mean BMI distribution is found in all the 3 measure. All the 3 distribution, the p-value is came insignificant. So we can say this, the distribution is homogeneous and does not affect the result of outcome measure in any of the two group. Intergroup comparison by using independent t-test for group A and the B both, and PRS, NDI, MCTSIB mean differences took and p-value comes less than 0.0001, which is highly significant at 95% confidence level. Here the box and whisker graphs are used to showing the comparison. Discussion: according to result, the value of both the groups were compared. Group B shows highly significant improvement in all outcomes. So here we fail to accept the null hypothesis. These are some review of literature that's having the same findings and support my results. Thus, it is important to address the symptoms and disturbances in patients with neck pain, not only gain symptomatic relief, but also to reverse the impairment to improve the physical performance and function. The present study displays a new aspect of this kind of training. It seems that the balance training positively influenced neck pain intensity, disability, and balance, at least in chronic neck pain patient. This is other finding from my study that I found the correlation between pain and balance. There is a moderate negative linear correlation found, and we can say more the neck pain intensity, lesser the balance. To be effective treatment of neck pain, treatment must address not only the symptom but also the impairment associated with chronic neck pain, and it will help to improve chance of good recovery. The result of this study indicate that the 15 session of balance training as an adjunct to conventional physiotherapy exercises improved the neck pain outcome. The outcome of this study will significantly facilitate informed decision making for management and would support the continued rationale for recommending such therapy for individuals who have chronic neck pain. Conclusion from my study is it must keep in mind that the proprioception are affected in chronic neck pain patient, and that practicing therapists must not ignore the role of balance training while evaluating the case of chronic neck pain. The given intervention brings significant improvement in chronic neck pain patient, and so it can be introduced as a routine exercise as well as it is safe and also cost-effective treatment. Here is limitation, that is not a long-term study. These are some suggestions from my study. References, annexures. There is no such thing as work-life balance. It is all life. The balance has to be with you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.